If it was, you know, binding up and hold it. Hi, I'm Chris, and I'm an artist. This is my 1988 Silver Eagle Model 15 bus. 4 years ago, the motor decided to let go on me, and I've been picking away at it ever since. Here at my shop, you never know what jobs, projects, or shenanigans I'll be up to. So follow along with me as I try to get this bus back on the road and get into future projects. This is 11th Hour Custom. So the first things first, before I get paint all over this and I ruin the paint job, I'm going to get this dipstick dialed in. So this was the dipstick from this motor, or no, wait a minute. Now this is the dipstick from the old motor. I'm just going to thread this in to where it goes. It's kind of a hokey setup, BSP. But this dipstick is going to go on the other side of the engine. So I'm trying to make everything so it's on accessible from the passenger side of the bus, because that's where I have room to work. The driver's side of the bus, on this side of the engine, is the radiator, the fan, a ton of radiator hoses and pipes, and I'm just going to set that like so. Now it's not exactly how it goes, but at least this way I can check the dipstick level. So I just want to see where that's sitting. So I got the dipstick here, and I'd already painted this. This is it's called a pineapple pearl. And I painted the transmission dipstick the same color so that they're yellow. And they're pearl because I have it and I like it. I thought it would be cool. I don't know if anybody can see this. So the dipstick's sticking through. Let's just go to 1. Okay. So believe it or not, there's a mark on here at that dot. There's a dot on the dipstick. The guy before ground this dipstick down, and I'm gonna mark it so, because being it's on an angle, I'm gonna mark it a little bit lower than that dot. All right, so right there. So that's at 1 inch. So I just wanted to double check this before I moved on. You know what, I'm gonna mark the top of the block for the hell of it too, just so I know where it's coming through the block. And like I said, it's on an angle, so 1 inch, if I did it exactly 1 inch, it would definitely be higher than what it should be. Now they're making it 1 inch and 3 3/4, and it's probably that way because of the angle of it. So it's actually probably sits at 3/4 of an inch with the angle. So, all right, so that's that. According to this, if you can see this or not, but there's a dot there, there's a dot there, that's the block. The guy before me ground this line in here, and that line is all the way up the tube. So that's really over full. So we're gonna go with that dot. There's 2 dots on there. I'm gonna stick with them dots. It actually has a full and a low on this side, which I've never seen in this light. I could see it. There's a, let me see if I can get it on camera. So there's a L and an F right there. And you know what? It's literally, I'm 1/8 of an inch off of the L and the F. So that's correct. So we're gonna stick with that because that's correct according to this tube. So now all this stuff can go in the booth, and this is gonna get painted red. This little bracket's gonna get painted red. And then I'm gonna put the front engine mount on, and then when the front engine mount goes on, the tube can go on that side. But I'll probably leave it off until the motor's in. I don't need to smash it because I smashed the one that was on here with the forklift. So this is the dipstick for the
Detroit. So before I go any further, I want to enhance the low and the full spot. So I'm just going to take a punch and the engraver and try to make this a little brighter. So on this side you can see it better, but it's backwards on the side. I mean, you can't see it as good on this side, but you can see it better on the other side. I guess it doesn't matter if it's backwards or forwards. I'm gonna punch it again this way, so it goes back the other way. I'm gonna do a little engraving on both. Okay, that's good enough. I don't want to go crazy. Turn this into a huge project. So that was there. This is where the original mark was, and it was like, man, it's like 2 inches over full. So this is where it should be. So, and it's obviously it's right. So I double checked it. So that was just a peace of mind. So that's what I can put this together now. Let me get. So here's the tube painted for the motor, and then the block, obviously I marked yesterday, so the block is almost where it goes in the side of the block. It's 2 inches, so it sticks through 2 inches and then an inch below that, which is right on the fill mark.
Hey, welcome to the middle of this video. I'll take a moment before we shift gears into the second half of this video, and I'm trying to show the progression somewhat in chronological order. While we're here, I want to show, so speaking of dipsticks, and I don't mean me or her, this is the dipstick from this actual engine, which was on this side, actually where you saw me testing the and measuring the dipstick. So this thing was under this manifold right about here. Not just when I picked the motor up with the forklift. This thing was already crushed because this motor was in a truck that had overturned GMC General, and they scrapped the truck, and this was a reconditioned motor with really low miles on it. So when it rolled over, this damage was done, or it was done when they cut it up and the guy at the scrapyard, not scrapyard, the junkyard, pulled the motor. He may have pulled it the same way I did by the exhaust manifolds, and crushed it. So this was no good. So that's why, between that and the dipstick I had and things being questionable about where the actual oil level was, I just wanted to double check it while I had the oil pan off. So enjoy the second half, and we'll see the second part of this issue maybe a little later on. I put these motor mounts on, that bolt to the bell housing here, and I started running the bolts in, and it was giving me, it was like starting to bind, or, they were crapping the threads, so I'm literally just chasing out the threads now. It's a 5/8 11 tap, so luckily I have one.
So I'm just gonna clean these out and then put them on permanent. There's a ton of corrosion there, I can see it on the tap. Hardest part about putting any tap in is always getting it started. That's when you're gonna screw things up. Yeah, so this one here had a lot of corrosion in it. So there's a little piece of aluminum or so in there too, and I don't know if that is if it was, you know, binding up when I ran hold it. I'm gonna do this one more time. I think the other two are a lot cleaner. I'm gonna switch to the other camera. I just run them in with that. That's not super tight. I'm trying to put this motor mount on. I'm trying to find the bolts for it. That's what I'm going to use the jack. If I can get close enough. I think these are the bolts that were in here. Those I didn't tag. And I got boxes of bolts everywhere. So I'm gonna put these jack stands here for now. I guess that's close enough. So what I want to do is measure this. Oh, dust on it. So I want to measure to see. So that's too long. That's way too long. It was hitting down here. I also had this motor mount on backwards. I had to look at it for a while, and then I remembered there was a plate welded here. I torched that off so I can get a wrench in here, because you couldn't get a wrench in there, and the guy that had it made a thing for a hitch, and that was in front of this, and you couldn't get underneath, so I plasmaed out a hole in the bottom. This one I didn't touch, so this bolt has to be the right length. So I'm gonna try to measure that and find the exact bolts. This is the only problem with doing this kind of thing is I bag the bolts. Even if I mentally, I kept saying, I'll get new bolts, I'll get new bolts. But if you don't bag them and keep them, then you have no clue what size they were, and then it's a guessing game. Somewhere in this shop are these two bolts. I doubt I threw them out. So let me just put this on there for now. I'm going to try to figure this out. We're going to put this one in for now. I don't know why you would build this like this and not weld nuts or do something for access. So, man, I got this fucking thing on my knee. See if I can shim it up with a piece of wood or something. This is a little easier. As of right now, at least that's on there. Let me go let the cat in. What I'm gonna do is come in.
Are you going to come under there?
Yeah, that's how I got it out.
Really?
That's the only way I can pick it up. Like, there's no mounts in the front. I got mounts for the back, but to put the bell house, to pick it up on the bell housing, I got to put those braces on that are there. See those braces at the top corners? On the tops of the bell housing, right here.
Oh, yeah, okay.
They're not bolted in yet either.
What do you want me to do?
You can get a wrench and a socket for them bolts if you want. See them big ones there?
Yeah, these units are
What's that?
bigger than an inch.
It is?
Yeah. An inch and 16.
There's nuts on the bottoms too. I want to get it oil pan on so I can get some oil at the bottom end. You know? I don't like it sitting here without oil. Once you get it like snug and it gets the weight set down on it, I'm hoping it pushes the bushings all the way down in the frame, you know. And I can take them goofy side mounts off and made these here.
Yeah.
But you know what? I don't want to go too tight. It's starting to swell up. All right, we're gonna have to put weight on. And I'll loosen them once we get it in the air. I'll loosen them up a little bit, and then when the pressure's on, hopefully it pushes it. They must have hung down. They were all the way in.
Yeah, well, you're going to pick it up here, you're going to lose the pressure then.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But you wait.
Well, there's no pressure on it now. It's sitting on the block.
Yeah, well, I mean, you should be able to tighten it down on it.
Yeah, but it's see this gap
Yeah.
under the bushing? It's swelling up because you're tightening the nut up. You know what I mean?
Oh, they don't have stops in there for that, though. They go so far.
Yeah. So it's got to be sitting down on it so it pushes the rubber all the way into this beam.
That's what I can't understand why they don't, with the way that motor now, push it in.
It's not on it. That's why. It's sitting right here.
I want the motor sitting.
Yeah. It's on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Neither one of them have weight on it.
Okay.
The motor's sitting on the center.
You strap across them forks so that it doesn't come out?
Nah, it won't move.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Of course, this will be the one time because you fucking said that.
What do you want to set this up on? The frame itself or on the outrigger?
I want to set them out on the side, on these beams here. See these pads?
Yeah.
That's where it sits in the frame of the bus.
If you throw it in the center, right, on that other cross member there,
Yeah.
put it there, that way you won't go so high with the blocks, because you'll have enough room.
Yeah, I mean,
You know what I mean?
I could do it back there. That's fine back there. In the front, I want it out on the sides. No, you're right. I was just gonna do. I wanted it as wide as
Because
possible.
that way, you know.
In case I started it in here, I don't want.
Yeah. Right, exactly. Might be able to just use 2 of these.
Well, I just need it high enough so I can get the oil pan on it.
How big is the hole? I mean, how deep is the pan? You got enough room in there right now for the pan?
Yeah. I'm gonna leave it for a second so I can mess with them bolts.
Yeah. I thought they had a sleeve in there so when it goes down so far.
It does have a sleeve, but they should be sitting flush on the pads, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. It looks good.
Well, yeah.
And there's bars in the bus that go from that I-beam to this I-beam. They bolt together, but I can't put that on until the oil pan.
Depends on, they can put them on,
Yeah.
because it might have to move,
Yeah.
in other words.
So at least this part, it's good for now.
You're saying.
The weight of that motor will seat them bushings.
Well, if it ain't seated now, it never will be.
You don't think so? I think it's because they're tight. Look, it's flat. It went down.
I told you it was. That when they go down?
Nah, it might be too tight.
Yeah, I did tighten it up.
That's good. I'm gonna press that in. Yeah, that one was up high.
How about the backwards now? Says we talked to you guys, who's the forklift at?
That's all right. Let me just see where they look like.
You know what I mean?
Oh, they're already down.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good. They're good to go. Just this one here. It was sitting on stands on the front of the motor, and then I moved the stands to the side of the motor, so I had to make those to do that. And same in the back. I had to block. I had to take with the wheel pan off. I had to block the block up to get the bell housing on. That bell housing's over there. So this is that bell housing. You know what, to do a car engine now, like a V8 engine, it's nothing.
You probably figured it out by hand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know, when you're doing this, you gotta hand it to guys that do this kind of shit.
Oh, yeah.
When I did install these motor mounts, this side right here, I don't know if you can see that or not, it never really settled on the steel. And I thought, you know, it's been like at least a month, and I thought the gravity and the weight would have settled down. I think it moved a little bit, but so I got a clamp on here. I'm gonna do a quick press on this and see if it goes down any. I'd hate like hell to have to take this cradle arm off. So in the back of this frame here, it's open on that side, and I just have it clamped on the corner, and I put a piece of wood in here to try to not nick up the paint. Looks like it's going down a little. Sounds like there's paint crunching. A little up here. More touch-ups. So this is something that I've been walking past, and I'm like, I gotta figure out a way to see if I can clamp that down. I can't have the motor sitting crooked by like almost a quarter of an inch. So I think that did it. So these bolts here aren't tight. So I just left them loose, so I figured the rubber would settle. It looks like it went down. That solves that problem. It's one of many.
Oh, hi there. You surprised me. Welcome to the end of the video. Caught me reading in the bus and having a beer. Remember, leave a comment. As always, make sure you hit subscribe, hit the bell, so you get notified the next time I have a video out. I'm trying to keep up with doing videos every 2 weeks. I'm going to start combining a lot of videos together like this one to try to get up to date so we can be almost in real time. And we'll see you next time. Thank you. Till then, cheers. Happy Friday, everybody. Thanks, Bugs. You were good. I sure brought the other cat. She's a little more cooperative. She would have laid down. Don't try to film with cats. We learned this from Tiger King. It doesn't work out. Oh, there. Come over here. So you can be alerted and hit. Thanks, Bubs. Welcome to the end of video. Oh, hi there. Let's try this with the book. Bubs, come here.